Thanks for clicking on the video and here on our Mimic, where we typically talk a lot about D&D, but also gamer-related food items on Sundays. And guess what? This Sunday, we have a combination of both. We have the D&D Puncheons and Flagons. This is the official D&D cocktail book. This book came out several months ago and it escaped my radar as I was more looking forward to the other official cookbooks of Heroes Feast, which you've probably seen before. This came out 2020 and it's a little bit larger than the cocktail book, as you can see, but it's by the same publisher, 10 Press. Interesting enough, they have a cooking show now that is streaming for free on Amazon if you want to watch this cooking show. And there is also a sequel of sorts. This is the Heroes Feast Flavors of the Multiverse, which we broke down in the past. You can scan our channel for that. And today, we're going to break down this book. I'm going to do a 100% flip through of this book in 4K, and we'll check out all the recipes together. Because this is an official D&D hardcover book, I'm very interested to see what kind of Easter eggs of lore they might put in here, as well as artwork like they did in the other cookbooks. I have to admit, I cracked the book open and took a sneak peek at 5 recipes, all of which seem to have very unusual ingredients, being very exotic. And we'll see if that's the exception to the rule or if most of the recipes can be completed with common things around the household. Welcome to the channel where we talk about all manners of nerdy stuff, from toys, board games, comic books, Dungeons and Dragons, game books, as well as technology on Saturdays and gamer snacks on Sundays. Now, we also do monthly giveaways, and everything you see here is part of our big December Advent Calendar giveaway. I'll put a link down below how you can win this prize. And if you're watching this from the future, I'm sorry you missed out, you could click our main channel page for that current information. And if you like what you see on this video, hopefully consider hitting that like and subscribe. It's free to you and certainly helps us out on the channel. Thanks for watching. Before we get this book open, let's take a look at the cover, which I have to admit I'm a little disappointed. It is a photograph. It is not an original piece of artwork like the other cookbooks. The author, Andrew Wheeler, has written other books that 10 Press has done for Dungeons and Dragons, notably some portions of Young Adventurer's Guide. He also writes about food, but he's not a chef that I'm aware of, but maybe he compiled recipes that were given to him and put it in this book. Let's take a look at the back. And it is another photograph. Complement any game night with 75 deliciously clever Dungeons & Dragons themed cocktails and bar bites to sustain any group of players for any time of day. Well, hopefully there are some non-alcoholic drinks that you could have before 5 p.m. All right, so here is the side. And let's get the book open. Let's see if there's any artwork in the front. No, it's another photograph, unfortunately. And another photograph. There is a little Ford here, I suppose. You could take a look at that. But let's get, oh, so here we go. So the recipes are by someone else. That makes a little bit more sense. So contents. Introduction about this book, setting up a home bar. And it looks like we're gonna separate it by the different type of alcoholic type that you're gonna use for these mixed drinks. So the first one we're gonna use is mix in some gin, then comes whiskey, vodka, rum, tequila, brandy, exquisite rarities, wine, beer, meat, and cider, and non-alcoholic refreshments. So there you go, maybe some drinks for the kids. So this is pretty cool. I really like how this is organized by the alcoholic type. I haven't actually seen that done before. You can also see below each alcohol type is a little bit of tie-in with D&D. The Hearth in Candle Keep. Here is the Pink Flum Theater in Waterdeep, going all the way down to One-Eyed Jacks. So that's pretty neat. We'll see if that has more. Oh yeah, there is a map here even. So here's One-Eyed Jacks, and you can see the Yawning Portal and other places of Forgotten Realms. The introduction here. about this book. Drink responsibly, of course. Some equipment you might want to get for your bar, strainer, funnel, etc. Talking about the glassware types to help educate you if you're not aware of what glass to use with your drink. Tips and techniques. So it's cool that they have a basic level introduction here. All right, so here is a pretty cool artwork. I have to assume that this is unique, as most of the 10 press books, including the Young Adventurers Guide, featured original artwork throughout. And this is a pretty cool one. So Gin from the Hearth in Candlekeep. The great library fortress, Candlekeep, boasts a wide collection of lore and wisdom, etc. So that's pretty neat. I might have to read this more in depth later. All right, so maybe these are the names of the drinks involving gin. Okay, so this first one in pot. It looks like there is gin here, and got blackberries here, and also blackberries for garnish. I'm sure that's gonna give the gin the black color. There's also some Campari, which I have to assume is another liqueur you're gonna mix along with all the others here, along with some ice. So that's pretty neat. Astral Plain has this wonderful purple color. Guess you're gonna use some violet liqueur for that. And of course it's gonna have gin. The Necromancer, Library Martini. And you can see, even though there's a recipe here, on the top, there seems to be a little bit of lore and backstory. I don't know if this scribe is mentioned elsewhere. I have to assume that she has been. I'll have to reference that later, but it's pretty neat that they do incorporate lore with this book. And because it's officially sponsored, he has access to all of the background material. The Emerald Door here, also featuring gin and matcha syrup for the green color. Candlekeep tea, also featuring gin, and Earl Grey tea bags. I'm sure you probably have some orange liqueur, vermouth, cinnamon stick sloe. So I think you should be able to create that with what you have around the kitchen already. Magic jar and rewards. Now this looks like it's a food. Yeah, you got some puff pastry here, cornstarch strawberries. Yeah, so this looks like it's more of a dessert treat. Heating up the oven, baking the tarts. I should point out that the other cookbooks, like Hero's Feast, do have cocktails in those books as well. But of course, this one's going to be having more of them. So here's probably a picture of that treat. All right, now we're going to go on to drinks featuring whiskey. Another piece of wonderful artwork here. Okay, Hand of Vecna. Let's go check that out. Okay, so Hand of Vecna. And of course, it's going to talk about Vecna's background there a little bit. Let's see, this involves not just whiskey, but some sugar, some bitters, some scotch, and orange peel and star anise for garnish. That's interesting. I have some colleagues that are very big on whiskey, and they get very upset when whiskey and scotch are used interchangeably, but here they have done so. Here is another drink calling for scotch. Nether Gold. What a silly name. Ogre Toe. So this one features whiskey itself, fresh dill, and a pickle. Now, I don't know if you ever had whiskey and pickle before. I have not. Typically, pickle is mixed with gin. That actually isn't too bad. Maybe I have to try this out one day. In fact, maybe I'll try it tonight. I do have everything listed here in the household. All right, so Ogre Toe tonight. I'll surprise my wife. Next recipe we have here is Pegasus. This one looks like it's gonna be sweet with some sugar and mint. So giving it a lighter, brighter note. Next one's called Cat's Cradle. This features cloves, star anise again. Never had a drink with star anise. Maybe you gotta give that a try as well. This one looks like it's gonna be on the sweeter side. Some cane sugar. Cherry. Orange peel for garnish. Loch Lee and dragon berries. And this is gonna use chickpeas. So this is another recipe of a snack to cook and eat. Yeah, you're gonna bake this thing. So here, these are probably the dragon berries. The chickpeas are roasted. Oh, this is a wonderful piece of artwork here for vodka. The Pink Flump Theater in Waterdeep. I wonder if this will hold on its own. Sorry, no, I gotta hold the page down. So go on to the next page here. Neat little ribbon they created just for this book. So here is a drink featuring vodka, of course, but it also got yogurt and mint. Cheap Seat. So this is going to feature nuts along with chocolate. Have the Malatron Mule and Night Watch. I do like drinks with coffee liqueur, so this might be easy to make. Got orange liqueur and orange juice, ice, orange peel. I think I do have everything in the house to make this one as well. So that might be our next drink to try. This is talking about the Harpers here. You can see some of the lore in this recipe book. This one's called Mother. So featuring the drag queen Chaotic Ava. Ava needed something to keep her nourished and drunk as she gamely made her way through up to 15 performances a week on the Water Davon stage. Okay. Looks cool though. TPK, Total Party Catastrophe. What a great name. Some more recipes here with vodka. And here is another baked treat that you can make. Flump cakes. I might have a picture of them on the next page. Yep. Looks like little pancakes, basically. And we're moving on to rum. So another cool piece of artwork here. I'm sorry I have to pull the page down or else it's going to flip over. Rum from the Low Lantern and Baldur's Gate. So already I'm starting to dig the format with a little bit of lore on top of each recipe and the original artwork. I think it is pretty cool. This is featuring rum once again, and all these other recipes in this chapter will. Celebration Brew, Cult Water, Captain's Fancy, Fairy Fire. This looks very spectacular. Maybe that's, what do they got there? Popping Boba. Raw candy for garnish. Okay, no wonder it's so colorful. Eldritch Storm. Nice layered look to the drink. Wow, this has miso paste. I wonder how that would work. Or taste, for that matter. Rum tack. So this is another baked goods. Oh, and there's no picture of it. It's going straight to tequila. All right, tequila. This one is Moonrise. And let's see. So this features blackberries, lemonade, garnine, black food coloring, or maybe you could just put those blackberries that they recommended in the other recipe. In fact, there it is, blackberries. I'd rather do something natural than put black food coloring, that's for sure. All right, Eye of the Beholder. Look at that. So you are going to accomplish this by using 2 cans of lychee fruit. And then you got some orange juice. This is probably a blood orange slice of some sort. Interesting presentation. Dead Winter Fire. So we got seafoam here next. And it looks like it uses nori, pieces of dry seaweed. Let's see. Or actually, no, you're using regular seaweed pieces, not dried bits. And then you're gonna heat it up and make a solution out of that. Interesting. Probably more involved than what I would want to do. Poetess. Hellish Rebuke. The Horde. This looks like a savory dish of some sort. Making some pico de gallo, some cheese sauce. Maybe it's a nacho of some sort. Oh yeah, to make the nachos. My favorite dish. And look at these kobolds having a blast. We got brandy up next. From the Driftwood Tavern. This is our first recipe here. Next one. This one features some fruit, strawberries, mint leaves. Looks pretty simple to make this one. Like an eggnog type recipe. Egg yolks, sugar, milk, cloves, cinnamon, vanilla extract, heavy cream, brandy, and nutmeg. Almond brandy. So here's another simple recipe as well. Little Winter. I'm about halfway through the book already. This is another baked treat. Cookies, basically. Now this artwork does look familiar. I think I've seen this before. I'm not sure where. All right, but I think this one's original here. One-Eyed Jacks. Okay, so these are going to be the more exotic, different drinks. Here, this one features orange liqueur, as well as fresh yuzu, which is a Japanese orange. So maybe you could use orange juice or lemon juice. And here it's featuring sake. So this one is featuring various liqueurs mixed together. And same thing here, just different type. Other various liqueurs mixed together. And so on. Green grass. Cilantro in a cocktail drink. I haven't seen that before. Not a big cilantro fan, but who knows, maybe it will taste great. Scrap and oil. This one is a treat to cook up. Not sure exactly what it is. Talking about a fish fry here. So some sort of savory dish. Not sure exactly if it's a cake. Oh, here, it's a fritter of some sort. There we go. All right, so the next chapter here is going to feature wine, mixed drinks. Okay, so this one is using some sherry and sparkling wine. Here is another recipe for sparkling wine. This one calls for, let's see, sparkling wine again. Red wine here. Many stars, so yeah, I was looking for the star Anise. I figured it would have a star Anise if it had star in the name. If you ever had a drink with star Anise, leave me a comment what you think about that. I'm very curious to try that. Okay, this one calls for white wine. This recipe calls for sherry. And this one here is a dish to cook up. I should have realized that the drinks have a cocktail glass here, and the treats have a fork and knife. All right, so here's the treat that you could cook up. Okay, the next chapter features beer, mead, and cider. Okay, so we're going to start off with Shadow Dark here. And then Pie Glass, Bitter Black. Photograph of the drinks. I think it is pretty fun to read all these little bits of story on the top. I think it actually does a little bit better job than the Hero's Feast, where it was just more on maybe the forward page. I don't recall it having as much story on top of each recipe. This one is Be Well. Great name. Got a drink calling for cider. And here is another savory dish to cook up. Here we go. Photograph of the items in that chapter. And now moving on to non-alcoholic refreshments. There's a little rubber ducky there. I think my daughter might get a kick out of that. Hissing stones. All right, so this looks like it is a sweet drink of sorts. Calling for peaches, mango, yogurt, raspberries, honey, basil leaves, some club soda. I think everyone could probably make that at home easily. This one involves more spices than fruit. Got a tonic and then mint water. That should be easy, yeah. Mint leaves and cucumbers. A tea you can make. Nice name for a drink, Restoration. Should be refreshing. Got coconut water, lemon juice, honey, and ice. Morning cup, tea room cookies. And that might be the last recipe. Okay, so some acknowledgements and about the author. Yeah, so as I mentioned, he helped write the Young Adventures Guide series. And an index. And a list of credits. And here is the back with a couple of quotes. And that is it. So what do you guys think about this recipe book? I think it's actually better than I thought it would be. It does seem to have a little bit more lore. If I turn back to the Hero's Feast here, let's just pick a random page. Well, here's the beginning of chapter. So this will have some lore at the beginning of the foreword, like that. And then for each recipe, there's not much story on the top. You can see that it's a little bit more sparse compared to that recipe book. So here they talk about maybe the food in general, the type, but maybe not about the characters involved or named after the drink. So here, see, they're just talking more about the food in relationship to the region, but not about the characters that some of these drinks are named after, or the species or races, whatever you want to call them nowadays. So I think that is like here talking about the region and about the NPCs within the D&D lore. So I think that's actually a more interesting read compared to Hero's Feast. So I think this is a thumbs up. I would definitely try some of these recipes. I don't know what you guys think about this, but regardless, thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, hopefully you found this information helpful. And as always, keep on adventuring out there, even if it's with food.